It's been a bountiful year for farmers here in southeastern Manitoba. The same can be said for those who count backyard gardening amongst their hobbies. The owner of this garden just south of Niverville recently started a business where she sells fresh produce as well as the salsa she makes from the vegetables grown in her field. What she hadn't anticipated, though, was the sheer abundance of tomatoes and beets that her garden would produce. So it's Fruit Share to the rescue. Fruit Share itself was started by a Winnipeg woman back in 2010 who was dismayed at the amount of fresh fruit that she saw rotting on trees in the fall, as well as garden produce that ended up being tossed out with the garbage. The concept of Fruit Share is simple. Local growers with surplus produce are connected with volunteer pickers. The volunteers will then pick the fruits and vegetables, which are essentially shared three ways. 1/3 goes to the owner if they want it, 1/3 to the volunteers, and the final third is distributed to various local groups within the community. Steinbach's Rebecca Hebert saw a huge need for a program like this here in the Southeast and opened a local branch of Fruit Share last year.
Well, personally, my husband makes fun of me because I really hate wasting food. So this really fits for me, and it's definitely a message that I would want to send out to people, that so much food in our society goes to waste. So much food is thrown in the garbage from grocery stores and restaurants, and this is food that is growing here in the prairies where you only grow food for a few months, and we're letting that go to waste. So I think it's really important to take advantage of what's growing and get it to the people who need it. Places like the food bank, they really don't get very much fresh fruit or vegetables to give to the people who come. And this makes a huge difference for them.
Local recipients of Fruit Share's harvest include Anna's House, Southeast Helping Hands, and Agape Table. It's important to note that Fruit Share is run on a strictly volunteer basis. And according to Rebecca, Fruit Share Steinbach has seen huge growth since its inception last year.
Right now we have almost 70 volunteers, and we have almost 30 fruit owners. And that's up from last year where we had 10 volunteers and I think 6 fruit owners.
Although the Steinbach branch has only been in operation for a short period of time, Rebecca is already thinking about improvements for next year's growing season.
I think next year we're really going to push for vegetables, and I think that's a difference between Winnipeg and Steinbach, is that a lot of people have huge gardens here, and a lot of things can just get out of hand. And there's probably a lot of vegetables out there that we could pick as well as fruit. And so I think that's where the direction will move in, fruit and vegetables, encouraging people to call us for vegetables as well.
Rebecca and her team see huge value in the service they provide to Steinbach and the surrounding community.
I love that the fruit is local. It's not getting trucked from far away. Most of the time it's pesticide free, because if you can't pick your fruit, you're probably not spraying it because you don't have the time. So it's healthy, and then we're getting it to people who just don't have access to that. When someone is struggling to make ends meet, they're not able to buy extremely healthy food for their family. So if we can give that to the food banks or other community locations and share that health with the other members of the community, that's an amazing thing.